My name is Jelani Cobb, and I'm the Dean of Columbia Journalism School and the author of Three or More is a Riot, Notes on How We Got Here. I think a lot of books start with a moment of reflection, which is that I started thinking about the work I had done at The New Yorker. I started thinking about the way in which I had written in different times and different eras, and I realized that in doing a collection of that work, I would also be making a comment about an era, more than 10 years, a 12-year period, and that it might be useful for people reading right now and reading in the future. I think the real thread that unites the book is democracy and its challenges. And the subtitle of the book is Notes on How We Got Here. And that's like the perennial question. How did we get here? Or how did this happen? Or how did we arrive at a moment where we're having to consider this thing or that thing? And for me, it was useful to kind of go back to the work itself and to concentrate on pieces that somehow gave us a hint or a suggestion of how we got here, how we got to the current moment. It's very difficult to really pick favorites. It's in some levels like picking favorites among your children. But, I think the piece that opens the collection, which is called Trayvon Martin and the Parameters of Hope, is the first thing that I ever wrote for The New Yorker. The story, of Trayvon Martin wasn't really well known at the time. And when I started writing about it, it just became a portal to many other things that wound up becoming very significant over that course of time. And I did a profile of the filmmaker Ryan Coogler. He's a really fascinating person and really amazingly talented. And so I really enjoyed getting to know him and doing a deep dive into his work and looking at the way that, incidents from his life or themes, in his thinking, showed up in his work, in different films. And so I think that might be another thing that I find. And that's actually ironically toward the end of the collection. The title of the book is Three or More is a Riot, Notes on How We Got Here, 2012 to 2025. One theme that, unites the book is that there was a lot of disruption and a lot of discord, that, took place societally in those years. And I found myself often in, the location where there were, tense exchanges happening with police, and there were angry crowds and these things. And I remember looking up the civil definition of a riot, and it said it was public mayhem committed by three or more people. And so it struck me that you needed three people in order for something to technically be called a riot. But because it was a question that came up so often, in the really tumultuous, volatile times that I was writing about, I thought that phrase kind of encapsulated what the book was discussing. So Three or More is a Riot.